one of the most difficult thing to do is to walk away. Walk away from anything. Walk away when there's a quarrel. Walk away when there's a fight. Walk away when there are challenges at your job. That is to resign. Walk away from other activities which they would have to use, retire. It's one of those things that cripples many persons. And many persons, when they retire and sometimes walk away, die after because they consider themselves as being the source, the light, the icon, the core, the main, the everything, and that you could not do without them. And when and if they retire, it creates a problem for them psychologically. And which is a part of the reason why many persons retire. Think of police, think of soldiers, think of doctors, think of lawyers. They often die within 5 years of their retirement. There's the issue of walking away. Because there's a psychological issue to retirement or walking away. It comes with a negative connotation that many persons have not dealt with and are not trained to deal with, and therefore creates a problem for many of them. What I want to deal with now is, should Yohan Blake retire from track and field? At the recently concluded World Relays 2025, the Jamaica team did not perform as they should have. Yohan Blake was on that team. And I'm asking the question, is it time for Yohan to step aside, to retire? I understand what Yohan Blake is doing. Yohan Blake wants to relive the past. Because I think he still blames Bolt for being in that era in which he was at his peak. And that both peak exceeded his. And I think there's a psychological issue to that is destroying Mr. Blake up to today. It's a part of the reason why I think he's unable to deal with retirement. I want you to think along with me for a second before you bash me or to judge me in any form or way. When Yohan Blake was at his peak, Bolt's peak was superlative to that of Yohan's, and therefore Bolt outperformed Yohan, and therefore Yohan did not get that praise, and he was not loved to greatness as he would have wanted to, because his peak was outshone by Bolt's peak. But what he wants to, what I think he ought to remember is that at his peak, when Bolt was at his peak, he was placing second many times to Bolt. Second in the 100 meters, second in 200 meters, and at one point he won the world championship gold. Of course, Bolt was disqualified in that time, so they did not really beat Bolt. And he has defeated Bolt on many occasions, but it wasn't on the global scale. He would have defeated Bolt more on a national scale than a global scale. And a global scale, which I'm referring to here, I'm talking about the World Championships and the Olympics. I believe that he really wants to get back to that stage of greatness. And he's thinking that if I am to do it for one last time, I will actually be great. I will have that phenom in terms of greatness and possibly be lauded into the same spectacle, the same historical context as Bolt. But I don't think that is going to ever be. I believe, Mr. Blake, you are at your peak and you have been slowly climbing down that peak, and in some instances, exponentially climbing down that peak. to the point where you are close to zero, you're close to where you started, the foundation, the base, the bottom. And what you ought to be doing now is to be thinking of going in your room, taking vacations, leaving your legacy to be where it is. And I think the more you compete, Mr. Blake, is the more you're destroying your legacy. You were at the pinnacle of track and field at one point, and you were seen as a phenom, despite the fact that you did not dethrone or beat or win Bolt at any of those international meets. And I refer to the World Championship, the Olympics. You did not and have not beaten Bolt in any of those two championships, and therefore you may want to find a way to do something to leave a legacy. But I'm saying to you, you have made a legacy. You have left a legacy. And for every time that you compete thereafter, Mr. Blake, and do poorly, what you're doing, you're inching more and more into your legacy and eroding your legacy to the point where you may not be considered as anything thereafter. You have lived, you have done, you have played, you have performed. It's there on record, it's there on tape that you were phenom in terms of 100 and 200 meters. You played second to Usain Bolt when he actually ran some superb times. You played second to Bolt when he ran some superb times in that 200 meters. You're part of a 4x1 team that created a world record. Mr. Blake, you have left a legacy. The more you continue to run and the poorer you do, and the less you attain or seek to attain where you were, is the more you're destroying that legacy. You're inching at it daily, minutely, hourly. And what you're doing, you're eroding what was great. And you will be to what is going to be normal if you continue. Mr. Blake, the time has come. Time has come, Mr. Blake, to retire and do so. Retire and regret it. Neither do you stay and regret it. I think the cost of remaining in track and field, Mr. Blake, will do you more harm than for you to retire. I understand that you really wanted to be the number one, but you were, in many instances, the one in what you were doing. You were not just the number one on the pedestal, as in terms of the gold medal in the Olympics, but you were number one in World Championships. You have done it, Mr. Blake. There's no need to feel betrayed, belittled, or even frustrated that you did not beat or dethrone Bolt. You came and you did what you ought to and what you should have done. You did it. I am proud of you. Many people are proud of you, Mr. Blake. Stop what you are doing and retire with grace. Some person may disagree with me, but I want to have a conversation with persons who are listening and viewing. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm going to put what people are now seeing in the description for them to look at the video. I don't want to play the video, but people can sort of see the video. And I'm saying, Mr. Blake, the time has come for you to say goodbye. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide you with trusted information for you to use to make a decision. Let us have a discussion on the matter. Let me hear what persons have to say. I want to hear your views. I want to hear your comments. Let us have a robust discussion on this one. Save no punch. Do not be afraid to speak your truth. Do so with respect. Let's have a great dialogue on the matter.